Calificas para ser legal, ¿quieres saber? Solo llama al abogado Andrés Mejer.
Now we're going to talk about travel in the U.S. If I'm illegal in the United States, can I inside the U.S.? Can I travel outside the U.S.? So the short answer is yes, of course you can travel, both inside and outside. But there are risks. Those risks might include detention by ICE, might include deportation from the U.S., or not being allowed to return to the U.S. So let's start with what happens if I'm undocumented. What's undocumented? Or what's illegal? So there's two ways. I could have entered the United States legally with a visa and either violated the terms of that visa or overstayed that visa. Then I'm no longer legally in the U.S. Or I never entered legally to begin with. I crossed the border somewhere. I was expected or admitted and allowed to enter the United States. I just walk along. I'm here without permission. So in either of those two scenarios, you're illegal in the United States. Doesn't mean you committed a crime necessarily. It might be a misdemeanor, or it might be, again, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But for purpose of now, if you're here without permission, you live at risk every single day. Walking outside your house, driving, being a passenger, everything is a risk that you might become in contact with law enforcement or ICE, and they may discover that you're here without permission, and they may put you in removal proceedings. That's your reality. Like it or not, it is what it is. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, I'm here illegally, or I'm here undocumented, can I travel to Texas or to California or wherever? I want to look at colleges, or my cousin or my relative is getting married, or I'd like to go. Okay, you can, but there's a risk. Why? Well, airports, guess who's in airports? ICE, Customs Border Patrol. There's immigration officials inside the airport. Now, typically speaking, if I'm traveling, even domestically, even if it's, whether I travel to Arizona, to California, to Chicago, or to Hawaii or Puerto Rico, it's all considered part of the United States. I can travel there just simply by showing my driver's license. I need to show a form of valid identification. It doesn't have to be my passport. It can be. If I'm traveling outside of the U.S., I must show my passport or I can't travel. Let's say I'm from North Carolina, but I'm going to New York. So I took a plane to New York. Or to New Jersey. I have a driver's license from North Carolina. It's valid at wherever. And now I'm taking another flight from New York and New Jersey to Arizona, California. I show my license, I don't have a problem. I am not likely to have a problem. Now, if for whatever reason I have contact with ICE, and it has happened, and I show them my driver's license, chances are they're not going to ask you beyond that. But if they do, you must have what I call the red card. It's a card with our number, but more importantly, it has your rights. Number one being, I don't answer any questions without an attorney present. Period. You have no right, and I'm not going to, here's my name, here's my information, I don't answer anything beyond that. If you show your passport to an immigration official, they're going to know real fast if you're here with permission or not, because your passport is going to show. Do you have a visa? When did you last enter? What's your legal status? Now, yeah, it could be that you're a green card holder and your passport expired and you renewed it and the renewal didn't have your entry. Okay, but you have proof of your green card holder. You're going to have that information. Your information is going to be in the system. If it's not a new passport and it doesn't show that you have legal status, you're going to get detained and you're going to be placed in removal proceedings. If you get detained by an officer, if you get interviewed, you don't answer any questions without an attorney present. Period. They're going to threaten you. They're going to tell you don't answer without an attorney. That's it. Now, the riskiest is going to the airport for the simple reason is ICE is already in the building. Bus, train, car. So, in a scale, car is the least risky. Airplane is the riskiest. Does that mean you're going to get detained? No, just a matter of a risk. Now, if you're driving in your car, there's been lots of cases of this, and you're in the south within 100 miles of the border, Customs border you may hit a checkpoint, and they may ask you for information, and you may get detained. Because within 100 miles of the border, that's either north, so like think of Niagara Falls, New York, Buffalo, New York, very close to the border, or in south, Laredo, Texas. In that parts of Arizona, New Mexico, and California, where within 100 miles of the border, you could be driving, you could be pulled over by customs enforcement. Information about your immigration status. It happens, but within the inside of the U.S., it's much less likely. Officer may pull you over, but that's usually not an immigration officer. You show your documentation. Maybe you're subject to a traffic ticket, a traffic violation, but you don't usually get detained unless you've committed a crime, or they pull you over, discover you have an order of removal or an order of arrest, and then other things happen. But it's not specifically because you're being an immigrant. Now, bus or train, there have been cases where ICE officers board the plane and start asking people questions. That's why it's so incredibly important that you know your rights. I'm not answering any question without an attorney present. They're going to push you and say, what? Are you guilty? Are you, what are you hiding? I have nothing to hide. I just know my rights, and you're not allowed to do what you're doing. Now, what if you have DACA or TPS? Well, if you have DACA or TPS, you can travel inside the United States without a problem. Outside the U.S., no. You can certainly travel, you just ain't getting back. You can go outside the U.S., you don't need permission from the U.S. government to leave. You do need permission to come back. So DACA holders were able to apply for what's called advanced parole under Obama. Trump eliminated it real fast with his attempt to eliminate DACA entirely. He first got rid of advanced parole, and no court has reinstated it. So if you're a DACA holder and you had advanced parole, it's permission to leave the U.S. and then re-enter, and you never used it, you lost that opportunity. If you never applied, again, you lost that opportunity because you can't apply for it now. TPS holders still can apply as long as they still have TPS. I would think twice about doing it in this climate. They're going to give you a hard time. It's just what they do. So if it's not an emergency, I suggest you don't do it. Hawaii, Puerto Rico, not a problem. Alaska, not a problem. I'm talking about if you're going, even just to go into Canada or just going to Mexico. Don't do it unless you have to. Now, what happens if your green card petition is filed but not yet approved? Well, you can file for advanced parole. I tell all my clients, don't do it. Today, you qualify for legal status. Stay the course. I understand emergencies happen. Wait 6 months, wait a year. Defer that trip as long as possible. Wait until you achieve your green card before leaving. Thank you for listening to this program. My name is Mejer. As always, if you have any questions, you can give us a call. You can find us on social media or on the web at Andres Mejer Law. Until next time.